Hello everyone, and welcome to my newest video review. Yes, I'm finally getting back into it, and in this video I will be reviewing David Fincher's newest film, Gone Girl. I was surprised I was able to make time to even record this video. I've been so distracted lately at work and around the apartment. Yeah, that looks good. Yeah. Distracted. Yes, I know I'm not in my car anymore because, it was a little too cumbersome as well as dangerous. I posed a threat to not just myself but to other drivers on the road, having to juggle the task of talking about movies and driving at the same time because I was driving like this while I was talking about them, and that's not safe. Also, kind of important, this was my first press screening film. Small milestones, but it should be noted that this film is a huge milestone for David Fincher, as it is his 10th film. Having seen a majority of David Fincher's films, I feel a little bit more comfortable putting this review together because it is my first review in a while. This is going to be a really rusty review, if you will. Gone Girl stars Ben Affleck and Rosamund Pike as husband and wife. Affleck's character Nick Dunn wakes up on the morning of his anniversary to find that his wife has gone missing. Nick initially handles the situation as any person would. He calls the police, is very cooperative, going to vigils and rallies, and mingling with everyone who's just trying to help find his wife. But as hours turn to days, the media grows more and more skeptical of Nick's innocence as he makes these small mistakes over the course of the first part of the film. You really start to feel the heat coming down on Nick, as not just everyone in his personal life, but also the audience really starts to doubt that he had nothing to do with the disappearance of his wife. All the while, this is being intercut with a look into his wife Amy's diary. From there, the film boils over into a lot, and I don't want to talk about it much more, and I'm not going to give any more story details because, in my personal opinion, you should go in as blind as possible. This film is based on a novel of the same name by author Gillian Flynn, and she, after selling the rights to 20th Century Fox, actually came on as the screenwriter for the film. Not long after David Fincher joined the project, it was announced that Gillian Flynn and David Fincher had made the joint decision to alter a good portion of the novel's third act. I did not read the novel, so I don't know how big the changes were. But after seeing the movie, I decided to go and read the Wikipedia article for it. I know that's not a very reliable source. After reading that, I didn't see any big differences. So if you have read the book and have seen the movie, please tell me what were the big differences. I don't know. Now that I've gotten that out of the way, I loved this movie. Seriously, this is Fincher on point. This is his, for lack of a better word, trashterpiece. It's like he took all the best elements of this trashy new wave of true crime and made them all his own. The movie is tense, it's smart, it's funny. It's also totally demented, and that's probably my favorite part about it, is that this is Fincher kind of unhinged. A friend of mine even described this as, and I'm paraphrasing here, Fincher going full De Palma. I already feel as though I've said too much, so I'm going to get into some small side details that I feel worth mentioning for this movie. Gone Girl, while some may feel is a story of two characters, I actually feel like it's a story of three characters. First, you have Affleck's Nick Dunn, and yes, he is very charismatic and seems easy to get along with, but there's an air of douche about him. In the first part of the film, he's just doing these little things. He has these little quirks that shows you that something's off about him, like smiling in front of a big missing persons poster of his wife. And then you have Rosamund Pike's Amy Dunn. For a good portion of the film, she's mostly providing the exposition. And that's probably one of my biggest qualms with this film, is that the audience never really gets a good feel for her. Although I understand what Fincher and Flynn are really trying to do with her character. You're not supposed to really find an equal footing with her. You're never supposed to really figure her out. And then there's the third character, and that's the media perception of all this. The media kind of represents the gateway for the audience to really enter this film's world. And I found it to be most interesting that you have an actor like Ben Affleck here, who has been under the intense eye of the media for a good majority of his professional career. And this is possibly Gone Girl's greatest social commentary. Living with my mom, she would always be watching these trials of women who have killed their husbands or men who have killed their wives, and there's just so much of it out there. Really, it's an oversaturation. But audiences still watch all of it to, I think, come to a better understanding of how much craziness there is in the world. So Fincher sets all this up to completely encompass the audience. And to me, this is what the best mysteries do so well, is that they allow readers and audiences to take sides and try and figure out what's going on in the story. I don't remember the last time I was this caught up in a mystery movie, where I really genuinely wanted to know who did what to who. And while one of Fincher's other mystery-heavy thrillers, Zodiac, is a much better movie, I actually liked the characters in this one better because they acted as better anchor points that I could latch onto, not just me, but other members of the audience. And again, take sides. I think it's the kind of film that should start a really interesting dialogue with people in and out of relationships. More specifically, I think the film's commentary on gender roles in relationships is imperative, but I will let that be something that you explore when you go see the movie. It should go unsaid that this film, from a filmmaking standpoint, is basically perfect. The cinematography is top-notch. The direction, well, I mean, you know, it's Fincher, so you know what you're gonna get. And the score is once again David Fincher collaborating with Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross, who he previously worked with on both The Social Network and The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. And it's great. While The Social Network score was synthier and at times poppier, and The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo was darker and creepier and slower, this film almost has a sweeter vibe to it. I can't really explain it, but it's perfect for Gone Girl. Ben Affleck is great in Gone Girl. And I mean, really, this is the most Ben Affleck performance I've ever seen him give. I was like looking at the screen, I was like, no, guys. This is Ben Affleck playing Ben Affleck. Maybe a little douchier. And Rosamund Pike, oh, she is awesome in this movie. Really, I'll let you figure it out for yourself, but I wouldn't be surprised if she got a Best Actress nomination out of this role. Tyler Perry offers some really interesting dynamics in here as well, which really surprised me because, you know, I knew he was a decent actor, but to me, this is a new level for him. And Carrie Coon, who plays Nick's twin sister Margot, is excellent. She's a revelation. And you're probably wondering how Neil Patrick Harris did as well. To me, he fulfilled his role. Not much more. He was fine. Other than the fact that it is this year's best thriller so far, I feel as though I've said everything I need to about Gone Girl. Really though, I want you to go out there and experience it for yourself and try and go in as blind as possible because you will be surprised. I'm gonna give Gone Girl a solid 9 out of 10. Do not sleep on this movie and go out there and see it with someone who you love. Someone who you're ready to have some serious talks with, and don't let that deter you. Some of these talks really do need to happen. So go out there and enjoy David Fincher's Gone Girl.